And welcome in. The black screen always gets me. I don't know when our intro is going to end, but we're alive here, folks. Week 14, the last week before the playoffs. It is finally here. We have been talking about this season. We're reaching that point where we're like, all right, I'm just ready for playoffs. Scoop past all this nonsense. Ready to get those teams in and do it. It is myself and Jeremy. Hashtag Isaac Garendo. Yes. How you doing, Jeremy?
Yeah, man. We were talking about it just before we started the show. I got some weird affection in the back of my head. I don't know what we're going to do about that, but we're going to see a doctor. Good thing is I live in a country where they don't really believe in antibiotics. So I'm just envisioning a doctor like grabbing my gland and like trying to ease some drainage down the back of my head as forcefully as possible.
Lovely.
And if that sounded gross to you, I don't know what's grosser, that image or the waiver wire this week, but at least we got one guy that maybe we can rely on.
There's stuff on the waiver wire, I will say. I've
Yeah.
seen quite a few articles of people listing players that are like 70 and 80% rostered, and I'm like, kick rocks, my friend. What league do you think this is? Is there 5 people in your leagues? Like, come on. So we're switching it up. We're only talking about people under 50%. I'm not even going the bigger league. We're just doing on sleeper leagues, 50% or less, because we're just wasting time talking about those guys. Because as fun as the Cedric Tillmans, all those guys are of the world, they are all rostered in too far amount of leagues. And at this point in your league, if they're available, you know who's available. You know the good players. Like, we need to go over that. So let's just go straight and talk about them. Let's jump to tight ends because I just don't even really like the tight ends available, to tell you the truth. Most of them are pretty bad. Juwan Johnson does get a boost, I will say that, because of the injury to Taysom Hill. There's no one else in the receiving. This is why we kind of talk about MVS, and if MVS is available, you can go get him too. But yeah, it's Juwan Johnson, whose receiving game usage has not been bad. Now, it's Juwan Johnson, so I don't think we should expect the world for him, but we're comparing him to like Will Dissly, who just put up a nothing burger, and Cole Kmet, who really didn't do much of anything. Those guys are all 50% or less. I think you could go with that. You can go Gesicki if you want. I don't really trust him with Gesicki. So I think Johnson's actually fairly safe if you want to go Juwan Johnson. Mm-hmm. Now, the matchups, it's the Giants. The Giants are a terrible matchup, so I don't really want to play them in this game because they are by far the worst against tight ends. But then you get Washington, Green Bay, Vegas. Like, you could have a decent stretch. Mm-hmm. But I would for sure go Dissly, and I would even go Kmet this week, and then I would go Johnson later on. But right now, so that's kind of how it ranks. So I think as far as really cheap guys, Johnson's going to be the ones available. Outside of that, man, you're talking like Calcaterra, stuff like that. But don't really want to go Calcaterra because Goddard's back, and we know what that is. How do you feel about tight ends? Is there anything you're interested in, or you kind of just like, I guess I'll phrase it this way. If you have to get a tight end on waivers this week, who are you going after of those group of guys?
I got a name, and they play for the same team now. And this team is playing. Let me just double check. Oh, I don't think that's right. Hang on. This team is playing in Philadelphia, so that's not good. It's the Carolina Panthers tight ends, and you got 2 of them there. It just depends which one plays. You got JT Sanders, who is hopefully, the word is hopeful, hopefully going to play in Week 14 against Philly. They're going to need him because they're going to need to be slinging the rock around. Or you got Tommy Tremble. Now, the matchup I don't love, but I hate it for everyone else. So it's very possible that the tight ends are the ones who eat. Maybe both tight ends are involved. I guess at this stage, I would lean Tremble. He had a nice game last week. Yeah. He's a quality route runner and pass catcher. I don't know what he does in the blocking game, probably little, but he'll be out there because somebody needs to be out there. So I would lean Tremble, but yeah, we don't know who's around. So maybe Juwan Johnson is able to do stuff this week, and you have him for the long term. I might go Tremble. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, like if you want to go Tremble, you can. Like we've kind of seen the Tremble experience. He has some decent games, some decent bad. It's just kind of like he's kind of just an NFL tight end. Like those guys can pop off at decent matchups. Philly's not the best. It's not the worst against tight ends. It's not the Giants. So yeah, I would. Like if we're talking about, I just don't want to play Johnson this week, but I think he's a good pickup for the rest of the season. Is more how I'm phrasing. Just, I know we don't really chase tight end matchups too much, but the Giants one, man, like the Giants just shut everybody down tight end. So I'm just really trying to not play them against that. So that's kind of tight ends. Yeah, we talked about Cooks. Hill's your number one pickup. Ingram, then Moore. Which Hill? Oh, you lost Taysom. I got you. So wow, Ingram's available. That's that's really nice. That you could get Ingram. Yeah, if Ingram's available, I think that's a must. You got to get him. Then Moore, I would prefer Moore over Kamani Vidal. Like I like Kamani Vidal, but he still only saw 24% of snaps. We don't know. Haskins fumbled in that game. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. I think he's worth rostering it all, but I much prefer more because I know you're going to be able to play him.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
I think we lost the Mark Andrews question. This is the last one.
No, yeah. Like the Andrews stuff's weird. Andrews has the strangest top 8 season like I can remember at tight end. He's been all over the place. Now last week was really good, and the targets and the routes run were like coming back in a positive direction. It's just there's no really like trending data to support Andrews consistently. He's been all over the place. He has 2 good weeks. He has a bad week. He has 3 bad weeks. He has 2. So it's really hard with Mark Andrews to predict. I think you just start Mark Andrews at this point. You just live with him because I don't think you're getting a better option available on the waiver. Like I don't think you're finding that tight end position, right? So you just kind of roll him. I think he's been really good, man. Yeah, and those touchdowns they're carrying him, but he was really good last week.
They are. Since week 6, Mark Andrews, and we saw in the beginning of the season he didn't look fully right for whatever reason, multiple, injuries, car accident, whatever it was. Since week 6, tight end 3, 10, 31, 2, 27, 8, 4. So he's there every single one of those games where he's a top, 12 tight end, Jesse. What do they have in common? You hit it already. Yeah, he scored a touchdown. One of the games scored 2 touchdowns. So Mark Andrews is super interesting. He plays the Giants after his bye. You can't play him this week. He's on bye. You can play him next week. You don't want to. I mean,
you're going to have to.
The New York Giants. But yeah, you have to. Then Pittsburgh and Houston. I'm only super confident with Mark Andrews in week 17 against Houston. But I think you just fire him up anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you. At this point, like they're just not good tight ends on the waiver wire. Like I know, let's just talk about picking up Ingram. That's gold for tight ends finding that quality tight end on the waiver. Like you usually don't get that. We're in the John DeJuan Johnson of the world, so yeah, like it's a terrible matchup. We'll talk about it in the following week with Andrews, and maybe people will play him, maybe they won't. But like, I don't think you have a better option on the next show since we got dip and get out of here. So is what it is. But yeah, that's week 14 waiver wire targets, man. If you can't get Grendo, go get Elijah Moore. I'm just saying, just make that happen. Go get those guys. Enjoy the week. So this is playoff, folks. Yes, Nick Westbrook-Ikine. Go get a guy that gives you production. Much easier wide receiver. Find it than at running back. We all know this, right? So, yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys have the best of luck this week. For myself, Jeremy will be doing rankings moving forward. We'll be coming back into the fun rankings, going into that. We'll steamroll over the weekend. We'll talk about the roundtable and then start on Sunday. So hopefully y'all can join us there. We appreciate all the time you guys spend on this because you guys make this what it is. So for the rest of us, fans football use, I'm gonna keep talking and we're gonna head out. So take care, folks. Enjoy your waivers and go get your guys. See ya. Listen up.